Hi. So today I wanted to talk to you about how I built my skincare routine. And I know a lot of people are like, a makeup person talking about skincare, stop. And I know I just did like a skincare video a little while ago, but people think that as soon as like a sponsored thing is included, that like everything's a lie or something. So I wanted to just talk about how I like built it, because I know obviously a lot of you know that I was on a skincare journey and I have like reached that journey. Reached that journey? What? I don't know if I've reached like the end of the road of it, but I definitely am in a place where I'm very content with this and the products that I'm using. So first, I'll give you a little deep, I almost said scroll, deep zoom into my face. So this is the current skin situation. Pretty happy with it. You want to check out the forehead? Not bad. I will insert, just in case you're like new to my channel, I will insert some videos over this part while I'm talking of my past skin experiences. They weren't great. I had a lot of texture. I had a lot of congestion, blackheads on my nose. I would get like really bad, I don't know if they were hormonal or what, but breakouts around my temples and also my jawline. So like big painful breakouts, and then just texture fucking everywhere. So I decided to finally go to see a dermatologist after going and getting things like facials and watching like skinfluencers and trying to just like figure it out myself. I was like, this isn't working and I'm just gonna go to a dermatologist. I think that first happened after I came across Dr. Dray, who Andrea, who I've talked about a bunch on this channel, because I stopped watching skinfluencers and I started watching dermatologists. So Andrea and also Doctorly, those two guys are great, or I like them a lot, and I feel like I learned a lot from them. But the biggest thing that I learned was that like you just cannot figure out your skin on your own. So I ended up going to a dermatologist. When I went to the dermatologist, we basically talked about how to tackle the things that I was concerned about. So obviously like my, breakouts, texture, I basically went there saying like, I've got acne, help. And they were like, okay. So what they prescribed me were some actives. I'm not going to pretend that I'm like an expert in any of this shit. And I would highly recommend, if you're looking for YouTube videos, to check out Dr. Dray, D-R-A-Y, not D-R-E. But check him out too. New album coming out. Just saying. Super Bowl halftime show. Just saying. Anyway, and Doctorly. So I'll link their channels down below because like they're dermatologists. I'm a fucking makeup artist, okay? So my dermatologist got me on actives, which are basically like your treatment, I guess. The actives that I was put on were TRETINOIN, which is a retin-A, and they put me on 0.06% TRETINOIN, which is supposed to help with things like collagen production, like anti-aging stuff along those lines, and also acne. But it's like a kind of a long process. Like you have to really commit to TRETINOIN, just like any other retinol or retinoid or whatever the fuck they're called. So that was one. The second one was this prescription called Onextin, which is clindamycin phosphate and benzoyl peroxide. 1.2% clindamycin and 3.75% benzoyl peroxide. I know this is like repetitive probably because I've made a few of these videos, but I think the most important thing is to remember that like these are prescription products. These are prescriptions that I got from a doctor. And these are what made a huge difference in my skin. It wasn't all the different like moisturizers and serums and things that I was like buying on Sephora, you know what I mean? So my first thing would be 100% you cannot figure out your skin on your own and you should see a professional. That is my number one piece of advice for clearing up your skin. But I did just want to quickly mention before I start going into like all of the products that I'm using and how I like built my skincare routine. Before I went to see a dermatologist, I did do CUROLOGY for like a year, maybe a little over a year. And I was also on like my treatment that I was prescribed. If you don't know what CUROLOGY is, none of the shit's sponsored, by the way. Nothing in this video is sponsored. However, I did do a collaboration with CUROLOGY like a while back. Basically what ended up happening was they reached out to me. They were like, hey, we'll give you 6 free months of CUROLOGY. Try it. If you like it, let's collab. And I was like, okay. So they sent me the stuff, or like I did the quiz, I talked to a dermatologist, they prescribed me a much lower amount of tretinoin. I don't have my treatment anymore because I like stopped doing it, but there was tretinoin, I think there was benzoyl peroxide, or at least clindamycin in it. There's azelaic acid in the treatment. Don't remember any of the percentages. All I know is that the tretinoin was much lower percentage, and I did see results immediately. Like overall texture of my skin got so much better. Acne seemed to like slow down a little bit. So I saw major results from just that. But because my like doses were lower, I saw the biggest results when I actually went to the dermatologist and got these prescription products. So Curology is prescription products, and like if you don't have insurance, or if you can't afford to go see a dermatologist because it can be really expensive, I would recommend Curology. It's a really great way to start at the very least. It's like way more affordable. So that's how I started. Then I went to a dermatologist and got on the actives. Blah, 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 blah. The way that I built my skincare routine basically hovered around those actives. So when I started using these two, I had to like build up my tretinoin use. I think I started like doing it 2 nights a week. And I've only been able to build up to like 3 nights a week, which is totally fine with me. And then the clindamycin and benzoyl peroxide, I think they told me to use it daily during the day underneath my sunscreen. And now I use it basically like when I need it, if I need it, because the tretinoin is doing most of the work. But those actives, when I started using those, my skin got really dry. And that's typical. Like if you've gotten on a retinoid or a retin-A, your skin has to adjust to it. And you might see dryness, flaking, irritation. You might see like more breakouts happening. I definitely went through that. But mostly I was experiencing just like dryness. And it was like very uncomfortable, and also a new thing to me because my skin had been like oily pretty much my whole life. So that was weird. So I kind of like came to the conclusion that there were like 3 steps to my skincare routine. And this was after like a lot of trial and error, trying to like find products that worked with these products. And like, should I just be using a moisturizer? Should I just be using my sunscreen? Like, basically trying to figure out like combinations. So I landed on something I guess you would call it a toner, but I don't know what a toner is necessarily supposed to do. Like I know that there's a bunch of different kinds. I guess a toner to me, or like a tonic maybe, something liquidy, something that like kind of rehydrates my skin before I put down all the other layers. Okay, so the one that I've been using the most has been this one from First Aid Beauty. It's the Ultra Repair Wild Oat Hydrating Toner. Yeah, I guess toner. This is literally just to hydrate, and that's it. Like it's like the equivalent of using a little bit of a mist. It's just to like rehydrate your skin so that it absorbs the other products better. I mostly only use this kind of a thing at night because I find that if I layer too many products during the daytime, my like things just pill more easily. And like if I'm wearing sunscreen or mascara, what? Makeup? Mascara. Like that's the one thing that's makeup that wouldn't pill. Anyway, I just find that like I have an easier time pilling, I guess, if I'm like layering a ton of products. But like I really love this. It's great for sensitive skin and it's comfy. I don't know. But so that's like the thing that I like to start off with. So I want to talk about moisturizers next, just because that was like one of the hardest things for me to find. I tried a bunch of like gel moisturizers that would just like pill. They would pill on top of my like treatment, my Onextin, or they would just be like way too drying. For whatever reason, I have to avoid like hyaluronic acid. Not avoid it, but if I do use it, I have to use a heavier moisture on top. Like it has to be a secondary product. I can't just use a hyaluronic acid moisturizer. Like I just can't. I've tried a million times. But anyway, so moisturizer was something that like was really difficult, and it was really hard to find something that was gonna be hydrating but not like so overwhelming for my skin, especially since it is, you know, prone to congestion. I almost said combustion. So I've talked about these before, but the ones that I pretty much settled on were the Skin Fix Barrier Cream, Skin Fix Barrier Triple Lipid Peptide Cream. This is my go-to nighttime moisturizer. And sometimes in the daytime if my skin is feeling particularly dry, but this is like what allows me to use my tretinoin because the tretinoin really dries my skin out like crazy. So every night that I use my tretinoin, which is going to be tonight, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I use this. And this is just like super duper hydrating, simple, you know, like it's not going to, like I'm trying to find simple products that will just complement my treatments. Okay. So this has been my favorite. I've talked about this a bunch. This is like the value size. I think, I don't know if it's like, limited edition or what, but I hope that they just sell this all the time because I go through this like crazy, but this has been the best thing for my like dry, irritated skin. And then for daytime, the Oven Cleanance Hydra, which is their Cleanance brand or line is supposed to be good for like acne prone skin. But this is the Hydra version because again, my actives make my skin pretty dry. So I need something that's gonna be a little bit more hydrating, but that isn't gonna clog my pores during the day. So these were the moisturizers that I was like, okay, nighttime, daytime type thing. And sometimes I kind of like switch them up. Like sometimes I use this at night just cause. But those were the two moisturizers that I was like, okay, these work with my actives. So then some supplemental things. As far as like eye creams go, I only use them sometimes. I use them on the days that I use my own Nextin because I don't want to put that near my eyes. So I apply an eye cream first, go in with my own Nextin, and then go in with my moisturizer on top of that. The two that I like are both from Oven. This one is the Refreshing Eye Contour Care, and this is the Soothing Eye Contour Cream. So this one's just like a little bit more hydrating. So I pretty much use these interchangeably. It just kind of like depends. Personally, I don't think an eye cream is necessary, you know, but I wanted to try these and I do like them. I like the different kinds of like formulas that they have. Like, I feel like this is a really nice daytime one and this would be a really nice nighttime one or whatever. I don't know. I've heard the Doctorly guys talk about eye creams and I know one of them, I can't remember their names, but one of them has very sensitive eyes. And so he's like an advocate basically for eye creams. And the other one doesn't think that they're super necessary. So I guess it's like kind of up to you. Like, do you feel like you want one? I kind of just like wanted one. So I use these. I don't go through them very fast because I don't use them that often. But these are just kind of like supplemental, I guess. And I do have like dark circles and very, I mean, whatever, your under eyes are delicate. So before we start talking about like serums or anything like that, I wanted to talk about my sunscreens. So I had been using the Elta MD UV Clear for a very long time. And at some point, and this is great because it's actually like formulated for acne prone skin. So it's not going to like clog your pores. This is the best sunscreen. It's the one that everybody talks about. It has a really nice scent. It doesn't leave a white cast. It's fantastic. It's also like pretty easy to layer for reapplication and stuff. But what ended up happening was when I was on my actives, my skin got drier and this just wasn't adding enough hydration to my skin. So I ended up picking up once again from Oven the Solar UV. This is SPF 50 broad spectrum. And this one is thicker and just like a little bit more hydrating. So I was actually mixing these for a while. And now it's starting to get like a little bit, well, I mean, just this week at least, it's getting a little bit warmer in LA. So I kind of just like have gone back to this because my skin is so weird, dude. The second it starts to get warmer, it gets a little oilier. And then it's like, it gets like a few degrees cooler and then all of a sudden it's dry as fuck. Like, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so this is like kind of my little combination. Today I'm just wearing Elta MD UV Clear. But yeah, sunscreen was like huge. They specifically said that my dermatologist made a huge deal about that because my actives are going to make my skin more susceptible to sun damage. So sunscreen is very important and it's important anyway, but I wear it every single day and I try to at least reapply once during the day. Serums now, I wanted to talk about that kind of like, serums became a thing where I was like, either I need a boost of hydration or there are certain things that my like actives aren't necessarily taking care of that I need to address on the days when I'm not using my actives, if that makes sense. So the I have 3 serums here. So I have the Biossance Squalene Copper Peptide Rapid Plumping Serum, which is just a basic like extra hydration, make your skin look a little more juicy type of serum. This is great for like daytime. I like using this on the days when I'm not using my own Nextin, which is like most of the time, to be honest, before my Oven Clean Its Hydra. Another serum I talked about like however many videos ago was the Good Molecules Discoloration Serum. So this was specifically for like discoloration. So I don't really break out very much anymore, but when I do, I get little dark, this is actually above my eyebrow. I don't know if you can see that. I could probably give you a deep zoom in a second, but once my breakout is like gone, I just have pigmentation there for such a long time. And that's very annoying to me. So I started incorporating this guy to get rid of that stuff. It also does like texture and all of that, but for the most part, my TRETINOIN takes care of all of my texture. Like my skin, I would say, is very, very soft. It's mostly just like the pigmentation now that's like very annoying. So once again, just trying to like fill in gaps. And then I have the SkinCeuticals Silymarin, which is, it's got silymarin, which I don't know what that is, vitamin C, and ferulic acid. Why did I think? Oh no, and salicylic acid. This is the salicylic acid treatment, but it also contains vitamin C. So this was one of those things where I basically just wanted to incorporate another kind of like serum that I could pretty much replace my own Nextin with. Like something that's gonna give me a nice light exfoliation and also extra protection from the sun. So once again, just filling in the gaps. That's how the serums pretty much have played a role in my skincare. And then additional supplementation. Oh, actually, my Aquaphor, dude. Okay, so lip care and also around my eyes. So I was using the CeraVe ointment and it's just not good enough for me. It's not thick enough. It doesn't give me enough hydration. So I recently switched to the Aquaphor Healing Ointment. They do make 2 for your lips, which I don't have I actually do have one. This one has SPF. Fucking great. So this is the daytime lip balm that I use. This is called the Aquaphor Lip Protectant. And then I think the other one is like the Aquaphor Lip Repair or something, but it's just like the regular lip balm with no SPF. But this is what I use on my lips. But I always have like a big one just around because I use it so much. Anyway, when I started my TRETINOIN, I was getting a lot of flakiness around my eyes because it's obviously a very sensitive area. TRETINOIN travels when you apply it. So when you like put it on your face, even if you focus it on the outer perimeter of your face, it can travel. So a lot of people use like a healing ointment to kind of like protect their eye area. And I had been using the CeraVe one and it just didn't do shit for me. So I recently started using this, like applying this around my eyes at night, especially when I'm using my TRETINOIN, and it has actually really helped. So this is just like, well, I think a healing ointment in general is something that everybody needs because you just never know when you need it or when you might need it. But this is my favorite one. I just figured I'd throw that in there once again. But then on top of like other supplemental products, this is like stuff that isn't necessary, but it's just kind of like, okay, I have like this routine and sometimes I want to do a mask. Sometimes I want to do a mask. So this is the Good Molecules Caffeine Eye Masks, gel patches or whatever. I just like doing these in the night. I like doing these in the morning. Because I don't know, sometimes I get up and I feel like my under eyes are dry, so I just immediately put this on. And the caffeine is supposed to help with things like dark circles and like puffiness and stuff. Listen, I don't know if it really like helps with dark circles and puffiness, but it's hydrating. That's literally the only reason I use it, and it feels nice. It's like a nice thing to like put on in the morning and like go have my coffee, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's like one thing that I supplement with. And I really like doing a mask occasionally. I used to focus on masks, and now they're just like something I do every once in a while. This is the Cucumber Gel Mask from Peter Thomas Roth. This is one of my favorites. It's got like aloe vera, chamomile, papaya, pineapple, cucumber. Like it's just super soothing and it feels nice. The cat's in the litter box. It's like very loud. I like using this after I dermaplane. I usually dermaplane once a week. And then I'll use this afterwards because it's just like soothing. It's good for like after treatments, after you get like a microdermabrasion or something like that. All right guys, so that's how I built my skincare routine. I hope that was helpful in some way, just if you're like a newbie or whatever, or if you've just been curious, like I've talked about a bunch of products, but you're like, well, how does she actually set it up? That's how I do it. And I highly recommend going to a dermatologist. I'm gonna keep saying that for like the rest of my life, because nothing changed until I did. Or I mean, it did, but like not this drastically. All right, guys, I hope that this was helpful in some way, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Hope. I said hopefully like so many times.